You wanted the best, and you got the best. The hottest band in the world.
Smack 'em a gob, everybody. Hey, I got a donation from a real cool dude, Wilson from Chicago. Now, I got to show you this, what Wilson sent me in the mail. These two signed things from the Terrifier movie. One is like the crew and the director and, you know, the actors and shit all signed this. And I hung it up next to my Art the Clown animatronic. I am such a freak of these movies, man. These Terrifier movies. I own all three and I watch them really like a few times a year. I'm so into it, you know? And yeah, it was cool that Wilson sent me that. So Wilson from Chicago rules. Alright, so Wilson, he wants me to put Diary of a Madman versus Mercyful Fate at the beginning. Now, I've said this many times in the past. I think the last great albums are Diary and Don't Break the Oath. But Don't Break the Oath, Melissa, this came out first, which I have the original. I bought it when it was new, and this came out first. And I have that one, the EP, you know, with the cover that I can't really show you. I even have it on picture disc up on my wall. And so they re-released this, you know, but those Mercyful Fate albums and Diary of a Madman are my all-time favorite albums from the 80s. Right there. Those are my top 3.5. They're just amazing. And so this is like horrible, you know. There's no bad tracks on either one. So really great, amazing songs are gonna lose for me. How about for you? Leave it in the comments below. All right, let's start this. Over the Mountain versus Doomed by the Living Dead. Damn. Now here's the thing. The original I have starts with Corpse Without a Soul. But this one starts with Doomed by the Living Dead, which if you ask me, it is kind of like a better opener. But the only reason why I like more Corpse Without a Soul was because, and I've told this story before and I'll say it again. 1982, way back then, I used to go see my friend's band, Iron Cross, where the bass player, who's still my buddy today, Emilio, we're all hanging out, and they used to have Marshall amps hooked up to the stereo, like a record player, right? So he comes in with the EP. Oh, I just bought this. It's fucking amazing. And I'm like, what the hell? I mean, it's a naked woman on a cross, right? That you can't even get away with today. But back then it was even more blasphemous. It amazes me how King Diamond and Mercyful Fate became legends. Because when I heard that, and then he put the needle down, and the first thing I heard was Corpse Without a Soul. It blew my fucking mind. The beginning of it. That's actually the next song. But either way, alright, I'll get into that song right now. I'm giving it to Over the Mountain over Doomed by the Living Dead, and it kills me to do that. Now back to Corpse Without a Soul. The beginning of the song is like that crazy, just an insane, I've never heard crazier guitar in my life. I was like, what the fuck? And then the singing comes in, and I'm like, what? What is this? I mean, at first I was in shock. I have never ever in my life listened to a record that shocked me. That shocked me. 1982, I'm fucking like 16, 17. And I'm like, what the hell, man? That is amazing. And then the voice comes in and I'm like, I can't believe my ears. And I'm looking at this freak on the back of the album cover. with the makeup and the upside down cross, and I'm like, I need this, you know? So Emilio, he had a car, and he goes, oh, they still got a copy over there at Open Books. There was a couple copies. Oh, take me. So the next day he took me, and I bought it. And it changed my life. That EP still is my favorite Mercyful Fate release. Then Melissa, then Don't Break the Oath. But that EP is so special to me. And Corpse Without a Soul is going against Flying High again. I gotta go with Corpse Without a Soul because of the life-changing event it gave me. It's a song, there's like, I can count on one hand songs that changed my life if my hand was missing fingers. Seriously, and that's one of them. It wins. Corpse Without a Soul wins. And I love Flying High again. Alright, next. Can't Kill Rock and Roll versus Nuns Have No Fun. I love them both, man. Nuns Have No Fun, really, back then. Like, the first time I heard that album, I was like, that's my favorite song. Because it is kind of catchy. It's a catchy tune, but the song says C-U-N-T in it. I never thought in a trillion years that Mercyful Fate or King Diamond would ever be popular. I thought this is a band that's going to be underground, because you got to understand, back then, songs that only about Satan, and King Diamond's voice is so out there. It's such an out there voice with Satan, 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 constantly, right? Nobody back then would, the masses I'm talking about, would ever accept something like that back then, you know? It's crazy that King Diamond is now a legend. I never thought it'd happen. I thought, this is mine, man. Nobody's going to know about this shit. I felt the same way about the Mentors, but the Mentors never really became, you know, as big as King Diamond. King rules. All right. But I'm going to give that to You Can't Kill Rock and Roll. It's tough. I know it sucks, but, you know. Next, Believer versus Devil Eyes. Again, this is so fucked up. I don't want to give it to, you know, I want to give it to both, but I can't. So I'm going to give it to Believer, man. Whoa, it's really a tie, but Believer. I love Devil's Eyes. You know, King Diamond doesn't like Devil's Eyes. I think it was Brian Slagle said that. Or somebody. Maybe I read it. I love that song. Kim Ross is almost a disco beat. And say, you know, that fucking king screaming about Satan. You know, I took her to hell. She's inside my spell. King Diamond was such a mystery to me back then. Because all I had was like the pictures on the album. And the back of the first Melissa album, I mean the back of the EP, it's just this freak, you know, with the upside down cross. But the Melissa album, it's like he's holding an upside down cross with like a chalice with smoke coming out. And it's an upside down cross around him in the picture. And it's so mysterious, like it's kind of covering his face, the smoke. And then the third album, he's in the back and it's just his silhouette coming out like a castle. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's all I knew about King Diamond back then. I find an article here and there in some magazine like Kerrang and stuff, but it was so extremely underground. Anyway, let's pick a random album. Let's go right here. This episode is being brought to you by Wilson from Chicago and, oh yeah, my favorite Scorpions live album, Tokyo Tapes, man. Amazing. Amazing album. I love the whole thing, man. The whole freaking album. Uli Roth, this is my era, man. This is my era. Amazing double album. Tokyo Tapes, which I'm going to play after I'm done doing this. Love that album. Alright, next. Alright, now it's the songs that aren't on the EP. It's like they did some recordings for the BBC that are great. I did like the Melissa versions more, but they're still great here. And we start with Curse of the Pharaohs versus Little Dolls. This hurts, but I'm going with Curse of the Pharaohs, man. Next. Tonight, my all-time favorite Ozzy ballad against Evil. My all-time favorite Mercyful Fate song, period. I'm giving it to Evil. It hurts, man. It freaking hurts. All right, next. SATO versus Satan's Fall. Again, this is fucking torturous. I gotta say, though, I'm giving it to Satan's Fall, but I gotta say, the Melissa version, I like how the Melissa version starts over this version, but this version is still awesome. You know what? I'm gonna play this album again before Tokyo Tapes. I gotta go get it because this ain't the album. This is AI. All right. Yeah, Satan's Fall wins. All right, then we end it with Diary of a Madman versus Black Masses. Diary of a Madman easily wins. I will say, man, to me, Mercyful Fate had no bad songs. They all ruled. Black Masses would probably be my least favorite. Still a great song, but it was a B-side from Melissa, so it wasn't added to the album. But it's my least favorite of all of them. But I love it. I love Black Masses. But Diary wins. So there you go. Wilson from Chicago, thank you so much for the donation. And also those signed pictures. You rock, my friend. You kick ass. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Wilson. If you'd like to donate out there, I got a PayPal in the description below. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And ring that little notification bell. It's good for the YouTube. Oh, no. Yeah, that's good for the YouTube. And like the video. Both those things are good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to Diary of a Madman and the Mercyful Fate EP, or the beginning, whatever you want to call it. And schmack 'em a gob.